Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to change spark plugs. So I've already gapped them using this little tool here to gap them to 0.8 millimeter or 0.031 of an inch. So they're all gapped. They were off the, I was surprised. I said, oh, I won't gap them or anything, and I checked them, and they were at about 0.32, and there was two that were really close, and then there was one actually at 0.33. So I don't know, I could slide it in like way easier, and then I just made them that I can slide it in but not rubbing on the tip there. So it was basically if I binded this a little bit, that it would actually like catch on the tip of the uranium tip, but very delicately, so you don't damage the tips there. So anyways, they're gapped to exactly what Can-Am says, because they say that you should gap them. I'll show you. This is the spec. This is right off the manual from the shop at Can-Am, and that's what they say that it should be gapped at, and that's what they're gapped at. So let's do this. So basically you can either go from the top and then you grab a hose clamp on the side, and you grab another hose clamp on the other side, and then you remove these two cover pieces, and then you remove the intercooler out, and then you disconnect the plug-in for the fan and you pull it out, right? So, but I got the snorkel kit, and to access that hose clamp to the one in the back is a nightmare, and I don't feel like pulling my snorkel kit off because I know I got it sealed nice and proper, so I'm not gonna bother. So we're gonna go from the back, and we're gonna go remove this cover here, and we're gonna remove the muffler, and then we're gonna go in that way. So we're gonna start. Alright, so I had to cut a few tie wraps and everything because I got the wire going for my backup camera. So you guys don't have to worry about that. And now we got to remove the springs. We'll start with the springs to remove the muffler. So what I'm going to do is, I don't have the tool, so I'm going to grab some 14 gauge wire and wrap it around with a 6-inch extension and just pull. And I guess it's really easy. I guess the only thing is you have to untwist it every time. So got to do this 4 times. There we go. Slap it on there. Twist it a couple of times around. Put your hand over it. And pull. Oop. Get a few more extra twists, and that's it. And the springs come out really easy. So I'll do the other 2 and I'll be right back. Alright guys, now that we got all the springs out of the way, I'm just going to put some lighting so you guys can probably see. Now we're going to remove, if I can get the light to sit at the right place. Or not. Okay, so we got to remove these 4 bolts and nuts. There's a nut in the back. Alright. Trying to do this to stay out of the camera's way. watch it so you don't drop them in the pan underneath there. So alright, the other one I won't be able to use the impact, so I have to use a ratchet. Boy oh boy. Try not to get in the camera's way. So that's the next one you gotta remove. And then it'll be the same thing on the other side. Alright, so we'll skip to that till I'm pulling it off. So see you in a minute. So, hey guys, we grabbed the ones on the other side. It's got a washer and it's shorter, it's smaller. So the two long ones are for the passenger side with no washers. And the other ones, the two washers and the two nuts, are for the driver's side. Now they say to just lean this back and pull straight up, and there you go. So, and now we got access to everything. So spark plug, spark plug, spark plug cap. There's supposed to be a ground right here, another ground. We got the cam sensor clip to take off right here. So we're going to take all that off and pull the spark plugs out. So that's it. Alright guys, so I'm just going to blow it. Make sure everything's nice and clean. First thing we do, disconnect the cam sensor. Alright, so that's out of the way. Now grab the smallest ratchet you got, 1/4 inch with a T30, and start unscrewing you're gonna have 3 of these, as you can see. So you got 3 of those to remove, and then disconnect the plug, and then we're going to pull them out. So you might not see exactly what I'm doing, but that's what I'm doing. So this is what you're removing, and also there's a ground that's on a ground, so don't forget to put your grounds back on there. Okay, so that's that for that. And then the clips here, you're gonna squeeze on until you hear a pop to disconnect it. All right, so we got this, just put it out of the way. And then here, your coil, just turn it to make sure it's free, and then start wiggling it out of there. It's stiff. There we go. Should I go? So basically you got to bring it all the way up and then curve it. Okay. I had marked them so I know exactly what was what, but I'm just probably gonna do one and then put everything back together and do the next one. That's how I'm gonna do it, because I blew the air everywhere to make sure there was nothing dirty or anything, but way too long of an extension. All right, so 3-inch extension, I guess, with a deep socket. I'll try that. Goes in, and it doesn't fit. it doesn't get it. So don't use that. So I guess we need the long one, but I guess we're gonna have to stick it in the hole first. So I guess it's fish it in the hole. That's not gonna work. All right, guys. So what they don't show you in videos and whatever is this thing here. I had to use a screwdriver and then a pry bar, and see, just put it back in to show you guys. The things, the first one that I took out came out easy. This one here, I had to knock my hand on the top there when it finally came out and everything, and use the pry bar. And also 14 millimeter with these spark plugs. The spark plugs, actually, when it's going to sit in there, you won't be able to stick this in. You're only going to be able to get it halfway. But if you do that and you put the spark plug in, when you come to pull it out, this is going to stay inside with the spark plug, and then you're going to have to fish it out. If you have some of these or whatever to go in, hook it, pull it back out, that's what you're going to have to do. So basically, grab your 14 before you start taking the spark plug out. You're going to have a part, you're not going to go in all the way, but at least you're not going to lose it, and it's going to hook enough. And also they say that you need 6 inches of extension. Yeah, use 2-3 inches. Because if you don't, first of all, see how long this is? Just with the 3-inch extension, it's actually the same length as, and this barely fits to slide out. So to get the spark plug, you gotta stick one in, and what I'll do is I'll blow the plug out. Yeah, see? Well, the plug's still in there. Go in with the first section taped up, sit it on, and as you can see what sticks out, so you can barely grab that. Slap that on there. And then your 3/8. And it's not tight, so don't worry. It's like they're almost. And then just 3 or 4 shots. Undo it before it's too high. Then start unscrewing it. And another thing too, see, plugs out. Screw it back in a couple turns. It's loose. And then pull your stuff out. See, I hit the top again. Blow it out. And then grab a hose. And the reason why I screwed it back in is because the first one I completely loosened it up and then it didn't come out. Then I was fishing with this thing in the middle, and the spark plug was leaning on the side of the wall. So I had to basically feel it and then try to get this on the side of the wall to hook up, and it was a pain. So before you guys have that pain, I had it for you. And then now you know you're fishing right in the middle, right? So and you see, even knowing that it's right in the middle, there we go. I think I got it. Now you gotta unscrew it. Hopefully it will, because I only twisted it in there a couple turns. And then you fish it out like so. So that was the fun part. Also, I checked the spark plugs, the first one, and it wasn't even gapped the right it wasn't gapped the right position. So let's see. I wanted to deposit it with this because I don't want it falling or banging on. That's it. Slap your 14-inch, that's halfway in there, taped up, and screw it in by hand. Once you bottom out, stick your extension on top, grab your torque wrench. It's got to be at 8 Newmans. And 8 Newmans is not much. So take that off, lift up, take this piece off, pull the other piece out with the tape, with the 14. Maybe you taking it out, you bleed some stuff, so make sure you blow it out. And then the rubber seal here, it's all dirty, so might as well clean it. Use any mild cleaner or whatever, just wash it, just to prevent from stuff going in there. So basically, make sure you got a 14 millimeter if you're going to do the project and you're in town or whatever, or you buy a 14 millimeter with the rubber in there that you can pull your plug out, so it's going to be simpler for you because they're deeper. And then with a 3, make sure you got 2 3-inch extensions, because there's no way a 6-inch extension is going to work for you. So that I can guarantee. As you can see, when I was pulling it out, had to separate them to clear the top where the fan is for the cooler. So yeah, so that's a learning curve. So I learned everything on the first one, and put this back together. There we go. Some corrosion preventing. Put the rubber back in. So with the, make sure she's seated properly. I'd put some oil or some grease on it, but I don't want to, because that stuff's gonna dry out or whatever, or it's gonna fall inside or whatever, but you can always blow it out. I'd rather it was like that from factory, so it's nice and clean. So let's stick her back in there. See how it barely clears? And then you gotta stick it in, circulate it so it goes underneath. Now let's check this, make sure it's clean. There you go, hear the click, it's good. Sit that down, don't forget your ground. And then grab your T30 little bolt. Get it in there, line up the hole. 3/8 ratchet. Alright, so I'll wait to put the cam sensor plug-in back in. Take the other one out. And this one here, I'm just going to show you guys that when you go in for the third one, you see the hose is in the way. So basically, do it like you don't care for the hose and just stick your thing inside the hole and push on the hose and then squish the hose and then just start yanking her out. Once it's loose, you'll be able to do it by hand. It's not going to be as bad. And that's it. And then repeat what I showed you for the other ones. And it's simple. It's as simple as that. It's time consuming because you can't rush anything and everything's in a bad place. And that hose would be in your way anyways if you were to take off. As you can see, if you take off the intercooler with the fan, you're kind of like reaching in there to take these plugs out and everything, so you're face down laying on your bed. So either you're on your knees on pads behind the motor and you're doing it slowly, or you're doing it like that. I'll come back after I pull that one out and put it back, so I'll show you guys how I'm putting back the muffler and everything. So see you in a minute. So the last one, I couldn't put my other extension, so I just sat the other one in there. And I'm just gonna see, just sitting, see it's not, they're not tight in there, so it loosened right up. The coil came out really easy, which was surprising. It just poof, came out on that one. Middle one was the hardest one. This one had a little bit of stiffness. The first one I took out, but no, the last one came out like it was nothing. So anyways, and this here with the little Torx there to take off for the ground was a pain. But you keep at it till you can finally just unscrew it with your fingers, like I'm doing right now with the spark plug, and that's the best you can hope for. So I just wanted to show you guys that don't use the other 3-inch extension. You'll be on an angle, and just don't even bother sticking your ratchet completely in it. And it's so not tight there, the 8 Newmans or whatever. It's nothing to pull out. And it takes forever to unscrew these spark plugs. I think I got it. Alright guys, so everything's back together. Everything's done. So all my clips are back in and everything. So basically all we need to do is, before putting everything back together, is seeing it shall fire up, and that's about it. And then turn it back off so the exhaust doesn't get too hot, because we're going to be playing with the exhaust to start it back. Looks like it's good. So I'm going to put a time lapse to put everything back together. And so basically, like I said, the 2 short ones with the washers go on the driver's side, the 2 long ones go on the passenger side. If you, oops, like if you dropped your inserts, you got to find your inserts. So that fell out. I found it on the ground. So by firing up, I guess the vibration fell out. So that's there. And on the other side, there is no insert. So make sure that this hasn't fallen on the ground before you put your muffler back on. And that's it. And then we're gonna you know how to do it with everything. So that's basically all there is to it. So thanks for watching. I hope it helped. It was, don't forget, 14mm, and tape it up and don't stick it all the way down. Grab a hose to fish out, and that's about it. And the spark plugs weren't gapped to what they say they should be gapped. So from factory, they were pretty well what they were in the packs. And these are the laser uranium ones, and the part number on them was, I believe there was the same right here. That's the part number for them. So make sure you get the right ones. So thanks for watching again. Appreciate you guys. Hope you subscribe. It encourages me. I see a lot of people are subscribing lately. Well, a lot of people for me anyways. And thank you very much. Be safe, and we'll catch you on the next video. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.